All right, in this video, we are going to do another example of the side-side angle case of the law of sines. We want to solve the triangle, and we're given that angle C is 113 degrees, side B is 10 units, and side C is 32 units. So just pretending like we don't already know that this is side-side angle, what we would do is draw the triangle out. With angles A, B, and C, and sides A, B, and C. Right? Again, making sure that side A is opposite angle A, side B is opposite angle B, side C is opposite angle C. And then fill in with the information that we know. We know that C is 113 degrees. Right? And we know that B is 10. And we know that C is 32. Okay, and so we can see that we're given this angle, right, and these two sides. And the angle is not in between, right, the two sides that we're given. That would be angle A, but we're given angle C. So we're definitely in the side-side angle case. All right, so what we want to do is to solve for the sine of one of the angles. And I'm going to go with angle B here. Okay. All right, so sine of B over B. All right, and the other one would be, and notice, right, we have to use C, right, because it's the only angle side pair that we know. Right, we know both angle C and side C, so that's going to have to be on one side of the equal sign here. Okay, and so then what we would do is fill in with what we know. We don't know angle B, but we do know that side B is 10. We know that angle C is 113 degrees. And we know that side C is 32, like so. Okay, so we can cross multiply and solve, right? So we'd have 32 times sine B equals 10 times sine 113. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 32. So I'm going to get sine of B equals 10 sine 113 degrees all over 32. And so now to solve for B, I'm going to take the inverse sine of both sides. And I'm going to go to the calculator and get an approximation of that angle. All right, so going back over here, we get inverse sine of 10 sine 113 degrees divided by 32. And so we get that as approximately 16.72. Okay. All right, so now so looking at our solving SSA procedure here, right? We didn't get an error, right? We didn't get 90 degrees. And so we're going to move on to the next step. We're going to split the problem into two cases. All right, the first case is the angle that we just got, right? And I forgot to mark that with degrees, 16.72 degrees. All right, and so case one is that B equals 16.72. All right, and case two is that B is equal to 180 degrees minus 16.72. All right, and that is going to be 163.28. Okay. All right, and so that's what you're going to have to do. If, right, you don't get an error or 90 degrees, you're going to split those into two cases, right? And so in this case, one with the angle that you got when you took the inverse sine, and then 180 minus that is the other possible case, okay? All right, and so then what we're going to do is, then the next step, find the measure of the third angle in the triangle, all right? The first case, right, which for us is this 16.72, that's always going to give a solution. And then this one may or may not, okay? So now we know that we have angle C and we have angle B. We can find angle A, right? So angle A in case one is going to be 180 minus 113, right? Which is angle C, minus 16.72 degrees, okay? So we would calculate that out and figure out angle A. So let's do that. So angle A would be 180 minus 16.72 minus 113. So we get angle A is 50.28 degrees, okay? All right, so we figured out angle A. And so we would also do that, right, in case two, right? In case two, angle A would again be 180, right, minus the other angles that we know, right? Because some of the measures of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So we would subtract off angle C, which is 113, and angle B. And you might have noticed that already, right? But there's no way that angle B could be that big, right? Because you're going to wind up with a negative number, right, when you do that. 163 minus 113, right? This is going to come out to be a negative. But just in case you didn't notice that, right, you go to the calculator and do 180 minus 113 minus 163.28, right? You come out with negative 96.28, okay? All right, so that can't possibly be right. So what that means is that this case is no good. It's not going to lead to a triangle. At this point, right at this point now we know that there is only going to be one triangle with this information that we were given, okay? And that's it. All right, and so now the last thing that we need to find is side A. That's the only thing that we don't know now. And so what we would do is, again, use the law of sines here. We're after A, right? So we use sine A, and A, and I like to use the ones that I'm given if possible, right? So that would be sine C over side C. And we know all of those except for the side A. We know that angle A is 50.28 degrees. Side A we don't know. The angle C we know is 113 degrees. And we know that the side C is 32. So we could fill that in. Next up, we need to solve for side A. We can do that by cross multiplying. So we get 32 sine of 50.28 degrees. And that's A times sine of 113 degrees. All right, and so then we can solve for A by dividing both sides by the sine of 113 degrees. All right, and these would cancel out, and we're left with A being approximately, and going to the calculator, making sure we're in degree mode, and typing that in, 32 sine 50.28 divided by sine 113. That's going to give us approximately 26.74 units on that one. All right, and that is it on this problem.